A father and son are in jail tonight, charged with the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. But the man leading the state investigation says their work is far from over.
They're staying in this community. They're going to continue to work it. They're going to go wherever the facts take them.
The community and country rallying behind Arbery's family.
This is not a celebration. This is just a step in the right direction.
As the Glynn County Sheriff says, it's time for change and accountability.
It's time that we look above black and white, green and yellow. It's what's right and wrong.
No justice! No justice! Born with me today.
And that's just some of what was said today at two different rallies to honor Ahmaud Arbery. I'm Tanika Hughes.
I'm John Bachman. Hundreds showed up today to honor Arbery and what would have been his 26th birthday. This comes as both Gregory and Travis McMichael made their first court appearance. They'll both stay in jail until they appear before a Superior Court judge where the conditions of release, if any, will be set.
Tonight, Action News Jax investigates why it took more than 2 months for Ahmaud Arbery's alleged killers to be arrested. The Glynn County commission is over the Glynn County Police Department, and tonight a commissioner shared with us this timeline, saying as police were first investigating the case, an assistant prosecutor in the district attorney Jackie Johnson's office told an investigator not to make an arrest that day because the McMichaels were not a flight risk. Then the commissioner said after Johnson recused herself and sent the case to a Waycross DA, that Waycross DA told Glynn police no arrests were to be made because this was a clear case of self-defense.
Tonight, a different story coming out of Jackie Johnson's office, the DA. Action News Jax Russell Colburn is live downtown. Russell, she's accusing the police department of failing to act.
John, she says Georgia DAs do not have arrest power, so she says Glynn police should have been the ones charging the McMichaels. And we're joining you at the Duval County Courthouse. Dozens of supporters came out here for the Arbery case, calling for a conviction.
What do we want?
Justice! Friday, Jacksonville became home to calls for justice in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Roughly 150 people forming in front of the Duval County Courthouse.
That could have been one of my boys. So this is just, in my mind, the responsible thing for me to do.
Tonight, Action News Jax is hearing from officials about the investigative measures taken after this deadly encounter between Arbery and Gregory and Travis McMichael. 36 hours after getting involved, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation charged the father and son with felony murder and aggravated assault. So how were no arrests made before? Glynn County Commissioner J. Peter Murphy says on this day, February 23rd, investigators spoke with an assistant in District Attorney Jackie Johnson's office.
The assistant attorney that worked for our district attorney's office asked the investigator if she thought the McMichaels were a flight risk, and because they'd been in the community so long, she said no, they don't seem to be a flight risk, and she was told that there were to be no arrests made that first night.
Johnson would recuse herself, citing connections to Gregory McMichael, a former investigator in her office. Murphy says after she sent it to Waycross DA George Barnhill, officers were again instructed not to make an arrest, as this was a case of self-defense.
Both offices within 24 hours tell them no arrests are to be made in this high-profile case. What are the officers supposed to do? Cuff up these two men and bring them into the jail? And what's going to happen then?
But in a statement, Johnson refutes this timeline, saying at no time on February 23rd did she or any assistant DA direct any officer not to make an arrest. She adds under Georgia law, the district attorney has no arrest powers. Rather, it is the duty and obligation of the law enforcement officer to determine probable cause for arrest. Back at the courthouse, this crowd just wants what we all want, the truth. Back out here live tonight, there are calls for both DAs to resign. I reached out to the Glynn County Police Department for comment and haven't heard back. We'll keep you updated. Live downtown, Russell Colburn, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
A little background now on how he got here. Arbery was shot and killed on February 23rd, and for 2 months there were no arrests. Then this Tuesday, May 5th, the local attorney leaked video of the shooting, and that same day, the district attorney handling the case asked the GBI to investigate Arbery's death. Then last night, after 2 days on the case, GBI agents arrested Gregory and Travis McMichael. Action News Jax was there as two of them faced a judge this afternoon. And with no bond set, they will likely stay in the Glynn County Jail for the foreseeable future. And we first showed you this video of the McMichaels being arrested last night at 10. And if you look at your screen, the person highlighted is Glynn County Sheriff Neil Jump. It was on Tuesday that he told protesters if there was an arrest warrant, he would personally make an arrest. And from the video, you can see that he did assist GBI in that arrest. The GBI has also said today that more arrests could come.
We're continuing to look at all the evidence. They're continuing to do things that haven't been done yet, and we'll plan on doing that the rest of the time it takes before they make some decision or conclusion whether or not probable cause exists to arrest anyone else.
The GBI did say it is investigating the man who shot this cell phone video of the shooting. The man who shot the video is named William Bryan. He goes by Roddy. His lawyer released a statement today that claims that Bryan cooperated with the Glynn County Police and even handed over his cell phone to them. The statement says Roddy and his family are now receiving threats. Roddy has lost his job and is now unemployed. Mr. Bryan, his fiance, his children, his siblings, and other family members, friends, and neighbors now live in fear despite the fact that Mr. Bryan has committed no crime and fully cooperated with the investigation into the shooting.
At that same conference, investigators were asked if the McMichaels could see hate crime charges. Turns out they can't because Georgia does not have a hate crime law. If you look at this map, we've highlighted the 4 states in the U.S. that do not have hate crime laws. They are Georgia, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Wyoming. The Georgia Supreme Court struck down a previous hate crime law in 2004, saying it was, quote, unconstitutionally vague, so broad that it would even apply to a sports fan picking on someone wearing a rival team's hat.
For more coverage on Ahmaud Arbery's story, visit our website, actionnewsjax.com. There you'll find a timeline of the case, the letter from the Waycross District Attorney, and a way that you can leave your condolences.
Barbershops, hair and nail salons will be able to reopen in Northeast Florida starting Monday. Those personal services were not part of Phase 1 to reopen amid the state's COVID-19 pandemic.
Here's some other things you need to know right now. The Jacksonville Transportation Authority will get more than $15 million through the CARES Act. Antibody testing starts at Lot J tomorrow, and the Jacksonville Zoo will reopen tomorrow to the public.
Action News Jax has team coverage. We break down the latest unemployment numbers and answer your questions regarding driver's licenses, tags, and car titles.
We begin with barbershops, nail and hair salons being allowed to open Monday. A big talker today. Action News Jax' Christy Turner joins us live now. And Christy, you spoke to a barbershop owner who says he's already getting calls from clients.
He says his phone was ringing off the hook right after the governor's big announcement. The owner of this barbershop here says being able to reopen Monday is news he's been waiting to hear for a long time. If you're desperate to get your hair or nails done, there's good news. Come Monday, nail salons, hair salons, and barbershops in Northeast Florida will reopen.
I'm just super excited. I just can't wait.
Christopher Darius, the owner of Big City Barbers in Arlington, says his phone has been ringing nonstop since the announcement Friday. Originally, these personal service businesses were left out of Phase 1 of Florida's reopening.
It was a little upsetting, but I definitely understood why.
The governor says the businesses can operate under, quote, enhanced safety protocols. Action News Jax reached out to the governor's office to clarify what the safety guidelines are, but we're waiting to hear back. Darius says strict sanitation is nothing new for this industry, but he plans to increase safety measures.
We're going to start with the barbers wearing masks and gloves. Also, we have plenty of hand sanitizer for each one of us, as well as the clients coming and going. Also, we're going to be wiping down all of our tools, disinfecting, sanitizing.
Darius says he's ready to get back to business safely. He also says they plan to do appointments only for the time being to limit the clients inside the barber shop. I spoke to a hairstylist at another salon who says she plans to check clients' temperatures before their appointments. Reporting live in Arlington, Christy Turner, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
We here at Action News Jax have been getting a lot of calls and emails with questions about driver's licenses, tags, and car titles. Offices are still closed in Duval County. But Action News Jax' Danny Bozzini was able to get some answers as to what services they are still providing during the pandemic.
As long as you don't need to get your picture taken or be seen in person, they can pretty much handle anything either over the phone or by mail. Now, I spoke with a local man earlier tonight who was struggling to get answers about his title.
I just want to be able to get in a car and go to the grocery store and go to the laundromat.
Nathaniel Iwanski and his wife normally rely on ride-sharing services to get around. But due to the pandemic, they thought it would be safer to buy a car. But since he hasn't been able to figure out how to get his tag and title transferred,
I can't use her for anything right now.
he got all the paperwork filed and ready to go, but couldn't get any answers as to how to get it done. He tried to go through the drive-thru near his home, but got turned away.
I got the plate and all that. She just put a sticky note in the thing and pushed it out.
Action News Jax was able to get some answers. According to Duval County Tax Collector Jim Overton, drive-thru locations are only open right now for dealerships. Anything having to do with tags or titles have to be done through the mail, and other services can be done over the phone. He says due to high volume, there can be a wait time. But with Iwanski's only option to mail it in, he says his car will keep sitting in his front lawn until he can book an appointment.
If I surrender that title and anything happens to it, there's no liability on the side of the tax office for that document being gone.
Overton tells Action News Jax they are working towards reopening their offices very soon, but they are still working out how to keep everyone safe. As for an expired driver's license, you have until June 30th to renew it. And for many people, you can just do it online. We will have that link on our website, actionnewsjax.com. Live from my home in Neptune Beach, Danny Bozini, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
I'm Action News Jax. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burr is tracking a cold front that is on the move. How this affects your weekend when it turns wet in the First Alert forecast.
Still to come on Action News Jax at 11. New unemployment numbers show a historic all-time high. Action News Jax Investigates breaks down what those numbers mean for you. Plus, changes are happening at some popular airlines, but now a pilots union is calling for more guidelines. The restriction the union wants in place next on Action News Jax at 11.